Welcome. Welcome to today's 30-minute Energizer class. I am feeling pretty good today. I hope you are too. And the good news is movement usually helps us feel even better. So wherever you are, we have that chance to shift something. And even if you're feeling good, shift can be good, right? So let's join together, starting in a standing position. You might sway, you don't have to be still by any means. You might shake things out or feel your feet on the ground or do a little move and tap. Any chance you get to take the socks off when you feel so inclined and connect with the floor or anything that's close to the earth elements that you have available to you is wonderful, especially this time of year as we get closer to the winter solstice and we can feel like everything's kind of flying around, especially as we barrel into the end of the year and feel that pressure of finishing things that maybe we didn't get to or haven't quite started that we thought we would. So this is a time to welcome any of those thoughts that you have about those types of things or feelings around them. I like to take the hands to the body to check in with myself. I feel like asking myself, how am I doing? Is very different if I'm just standing to attention and talking to you versus putting my hands on my body. You can also try it as a journaling prompt and see what happens. So acknowledge whatever your experience is right now. Joy, enthusiasm, reluctance, tiredness, whatever it be. And when you're ready, release the hands, look around you, maybe step wider and wrap your arms around to twist. I love this move for so many reasons. Most of all, because whatever I was doing before, it's like it erases it or twists it out of my system. Good or bad, ugly or otherwise. All right, turn this into a hip circle around and around and around, and then change directions. All right, stand tall, shrug the shoulders up, back, and down. And then go forward a few times. One more time to the back, otherwise it feels funky. And then maybe create a little more space between your feet, bend your knees, and grab onto the tops of the thighs for standing cat-cow pose. So arch the back, stick the bum out, look forward, and then round into yourself, curl into your upper back. Go back and forth a few more times. And then find an ending for that. Come all the way up to stand. And cross your right foot on top of your left so that the ball of your foot is on the floor. You still feel like you have both feet to stand on. If you don't feel comfortable with that, feel free to stay on 2 feet, regular stance. And then bring your left hand to your hip. Arc over to that side. Maybe bring your right arm with you. And you can really use the foot into the floor to help you feel supported in the side body stretch. Sometimes I feel like this cross-legged variation just gets a different spot, maybe a little lower down into the hip. And then rise back up to your starting position, and we'll switch other side. So feel free to play with a cross-legged variation. You can also do this with both feet underneath you. And then take a side body stretch to the right now. If you like, bring the left arm up and over. And then return to your starting position. Shake it out. All right, let's warm up the legs a little bit with some more movement. So step wide on your mat and then bring your feet together. And then wide on your mat the other way, bring your feet together. You choose how wide, you choose how fast. You could make this more of like a dip, almost like a squat, and then stand up, or simply rock side to side, or change it up. I'm getting the heart rate up a little bit here with my side squats. Your hands can be doing whatever you want. You can clap. Each time I'm just holding them together. You could hold the hips. And then if you're really feeling frisky, you could turn it into more of a jump or a hop, side to side. And then maybe slow it back down again, or return to the rhythm that feels good for you. All right. Slowing it down even more, maybe smaller steps. Take a moment. And then turn forwards in your space so you have your length behind you. And step back with your left foot. Come into a warrior one style lunge. Bend your right knee, reach the left leg back. Hands on the hips to begin. So this feels like a posture for your legs. Although, as per a request, we're gonna work a little bit on posture. So that means, to me, strengthening and activating the muscles in the upper back. So in this shape, you can kind of stick your chest out and feel tall, right? But you're in an arched position. So see instead, if you can draw the belly in, I have to bend my left knee to make that feel really stable from my hips to my head. And then keep strong here, but lean forward. So now your torso is at an angle. And anytime the body's at an angle, as we learned a few weeks ago, these muscles in the trunk have to work harder. We can also use gravity, or this angle, to work on the upper back. So bring the hands, palms face up near your hips, and lift the hands with the arms still straight, a few inches from your starting position, and then back down. And then lift, squeeze, and lower. Lift, squeeze, and lower. Try that a few more times. If at any point you need to take a break, that's fine. I kind of call this the Wonder Woman pose. It feels like we're about to bust through the screen, right? With our save the world attitudes. And my hope is you're feeling some feelings, not just in the legs, but also in the upper back. All right, step the feet together, maybe reach the arms up overhead, arch back. Oh, that feels good. And then let's try the other side. So start with the lunge, the warrior one posture. Woo, gets a little wobbly sometimes. So widen your stance if you like. Bring the hands to the hips to begin, and simply play with this notion of feeling tall, but feeling strong. So not necessarily arching, right? I was always very small chested, still am. So when I was little, I used to arc my back to make my boobs look bigger, right? We're not going to do that today. Instead, we're going to draw the belly in, maybe bend the right knee. Hopefully that made you smile, thinking of little Emily. All right, from here, lean forward. Come into that angle. And then add the arms straight back, palms face up. Squeeze them as you lift the hands a few inches away from your starting position and then back down. And then lift and lower. Lift and lower. Keep going. Take a break when you need. Nice. And then step your feet together at the front of your space. Reach the arms up overhead. Maybe arc back. Oh. And from here, come back to stand, bend your knees, and hinge forward to fold. A bit of a counter stretch after all that work. Feel free to grab the hands and bring them to the back of your head to add some traction or weight. And then take the hands to the floor and step back to downward facing dog. If you prefer knees on the ground, please listen to yourself. And walk around here, bend one knee, then the other. Feel your arms strong now. Hands pressing firm into the earth. And after a few moments, let the knees rest down on the floor and take a restful pose. That could be child's pose with the hips towards the heels, but sometimes the knees don't want to bend quite that far. So feel free to stack your forearms and rest your forehead on the ground. Excuse me, on top of them. All right, return your hands to the floor and tabletop. And continuing on the theme of strengthening the upper back muscles, push the floor away. So your elbows are always straight or as straight as possible, but push the floor away and notice how you come up away from the floor about an inch or two. And then let yourself sink down. It's sort of past neutral, sink down. You might feel your shoulder blades squeeze together. And then push the floor away. Again, elbows are straight this whole time, but you're sinking and moving in the shoulder joint with intention here. Nice. So now you've got the up and down. See if you can make it feel a little bit like a circle. So you might feel yourself kind of push away, out. It's almost like when we're standing and we're doing shoulder circles, except now your hands are on the floor. Might feel a little funky. If you've got the hang of it one direction, try to circle the other way. All right, and then give yourself a break. Let the hands rest or shake them out. You could also rotate the wrists. And then we're going to do that one more time with the option to transform this and make it a bit more challenging by doing it in downward dog, right? So when you're on hands and knees, it's one thing. When you're in downward dog, suddenly the angles change, right? But the same possibilities exist. Push the hands away from you into the floor and feel yourself come up out of the shoulder. And then let yourself sink down any amount, only what feels comfortable here. And then push, hands into the floor. Feel yourself get a little taller. And then sink any amount or back to your starting point. And then if you like, see if you can turn this into a shoulder circle. It's a lot more challenging for your body and for those little muscles in your upper back. So feel free to come down and return to doing it on your hands and knees. And maybe try going the other way, circling around and around. And when you've had enough fun, walk your feet towards your hands, take a forward bend, and maybe grab opposite elbows. If you like, you can grab the hands behind you or take a strap between the hands and reach the knuckles to the sky, stretching the shoulders, the neck in a very different way now. Release the hands towards the floor. Bend your knees a lot and lift your chest, chair pose. Sweep the arms forward. And then fold again, sweep the hands down and behind you. We'll go back and forth a few times. So sweep the hands up and lift into chair pose. And then sweep the hands down and towards your hips to a forward fold with bent knees. Try going back and forth a few more times. Lift to chair. And then forward fold. Chair. And then forward fold. The next time you find yourself in a chair, pause. Bring the hands together and at the chest. And then from here, take a twist so that the right elbow is trying to touch the left side wall. If that's feeling pretty twisty, pause there. If it feels possible, rest the elbow on the thigh. Gets a little scrunchy though, so maybe not. And then if you're still with me, shift the weight over to your right foot. So, your left foot, the one that you're turning and twisting towards, or maybe you have the elbow on it. And get a little lighter on the other toes, the right toes. Maybe you lift them for flamingo pose, or maybe you stay playful and wobbly. Nice. Slowly bring the toes back down, unwind so your hands are back at your chest. Stand up tall, just reach the arms up high, and then sit back in your imaginary chair again, hands to the heart. We're gonna do that all to the other side. So twist so that the left elbow feels like it's touching the right side wall. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you let the elbow rest on the thigh, and don't be surprised if it has to look different over here. Now shift the weight over to your right foot, same side that you're twisting towards, and get lighter on the left toes. Flamingo. Nobody knows where that other foot goes, right? When the flamingos are standing on one foot. All right, if you can smile, you're doing it right. And then bring the feet back down underneath you, unwind, rise up tall to stand, maybe arch back. Oh. And then return to stand, hands together at the heart. Maybe you hold hands to the heart or hand to belly and notice your heartbeat. Sometimes we do funky, harder, challenging things, and then we can return to ourselves, to the floor underneath our feet. Nice. Make your way down to sit and extend the legs out in front. Give them a good tap, or maybe hands pat the legs. And then keep your right leg extended. Bend the left knee out to the side if possible. Sometimes if this feels funky, I bring a pillow underneath my knee or sit up on a blanket. And then reach your hands up to the sky. Sweep towards the toes. You're not trying to grab them. In fact, you're going to now sweep the leg. So hands come up the leg. And then turn to your left towards the bent knee. And bring yourself up onto the knee so that you're in a side plank variation. Take your time. And with your left hand behind you where your head would be if you were on the mat, take your right arm to the sky. Option to make a big circle with the arm. Maybe you go a few times in both directions. And then if you're feeling good here, stay. Otherwise, challenge yourself with a side plank. Let both feet come together or stack them at the back of your mat, balancing on your left hand, maybe embracing the wobbles, noticing all the feels in the trunk and belly. And then carefully make your way back down onto your left knee so you can escort yourself down onto your bum. Ooh, switch the leg so that your left leg is straight, right knee bends out to the side, and we'll do that all to the other side. Reach the arms up high, sweep the leg, and turn to the right this time towards the bent knee. Swivel onto the knee, rest your right hand to the head side of your mat, and reach your left arm to the sky. Option to make circles. And maybe stay here. Or take side plank with both feet towards the back of the mat. Notice what's different on this side. Then help yourself back down to your knee, down to your bum. Extend both legs out in front. Reach the arms up overhead. And then sweep both legs. This time you're going to take the hands behind you slightly. Press into the floor and lift your chest. Proud, like I used to do. Option to stay right here or kick the heels down, lift the hips up, upward plank. Feel that area between your shoulder blades strong, that area that we worked and squeezed from our standing position way back when at the beginning of class. When you're ready, lower the bum down. Take the arms up overhead and either with bent or straight knees, forward bend over the legs. Slowly unfold from your seat and roll your way down onto your back. Draw the knees in for a squeeze or take them wide for dead bug. And then plant your feet close to your bum, underneath the knees for bridge pose. With the arms down by your sides, press the feet into the floor and lift the hips any amount. Push the feet into the ground so you can feel the whole foot connecting to the earth. Stay strong for a few more moments, a few more breaths. And then when you're ready, lower your back down to the floor and take whatever counter stretch feels good. And bring your right knee in towards the chest. Extend your left leg down on the floor. For wind relieving pose, take a breath in and hug the knee on the breath out. And hold it with only the left hand now so that you can take your right arm out to the ground and roll over. So use your hand on the knee to roll to your left into a reclined twist. And then unroll yourself onto your back. Draw the left knee in and extend the right leg down for wind relieving pose, other side. Take a breath in and a breath out. And then hold the knee with the opposite hand, so your right hand now, and use it to roll over onto your right side. Recline, twist in the other direction. When you're ready, unwind. Maybe bring the feet back to the floor one more time for a gentle bridge lift, evening out both sides, feeling left and right working together. And then rest your back down on the floor. Constructive rest pose with the feet flat, the knees bent. Bring one hand to the belly, the other to the heart. And feel yourself connected to the earth. Gently roll your way to one side and rest your head on your arm for a moment. Notice already the effects of your practice. What's shifted? Help yourself up to sit. Take a look around your space and notice your quality of being. I am so grateful for you and your presence today. And I wish for this practice to be with you, and its effects at least to be with you for as long as possible. Have a great rest of the day.